Hey everybody, welcome back to Video Mess. So today we're continuing series, the Unported Playlist, where I take a look at some of my favorite unported arcade games of all time. And today we're playing Knuckle Bash, released in 1993 by Toaplan. And if that developer sounds familiar, it's because they made some of the best shmups of the 90s, but every once in a while they would venture out into other genres, giving us a beat 'em up with Knuckle Bash. This game is weird, it's over the top, it's hilarious, sometimes it's cheap, but I absolutely love everything it does and what it represents. Before we get too far involved though, do me a huge favor, go down below, hit like and subscribe, and ring that notification bell, definitely helps us out. And if you feel so inclined and want to support the channel, we got a Patreon link down below as well. But what other beat 'em up game lets you play is what I imagine to be a cross between Elvis Presley and Evel Knievel. This character here looks like the king, also has that Japanese pompadour hairstyle, and the Evel Knievel suit. It is just perfection when you have this one character, and the game gets even weirder and funnier from there. Now it is a beat 'em up, so the first thing we have to talk about is the mechanics. Is this a competent beat 'em up? Do your hits and punches hit, or do you feel like you're always missing strikes? The good thing with Knuckle Bash is if you miss your opponent, it's because it was your fault. This game doesn't really challenge you in any way, shape, or form to actually try to hit anything. It does get incredibly difficult towards the later part of the game, but the sense of charm, the graphics, the soundtrack, and just the weirdness on display here 100% let me forgive it for that cheapness, especially because I am emulating this and no real quarters are changing hands. It is a beat 'em up, but it doesn't really scroll too much whatsoever. You basically have static screens, and then you go to boss fights. This is almost like a boss rush mode within a beat 'em up in and of itself, and it's actually a very refreshing system. The other great part about this game is from start to finish it takes about 22 minutes, so you can get in, have a ton of fun, and get back out and along with your day before you even realize the game is over. And if you bring a friend, it gets that much better. This is just a fun beat 'em up. It's never going to rival something like Streets of Rage or Final Fight or any of those greatest beat 'em ups of all time. It is solidly B tier, but it knows that and it has a ton of fun with it. I even love this little in-between level challenge here. All you do is beat the A button like it owes you money, and if you hit it enough, you knock your opponent out and you get some life back. Now that we moved on to the next stage, it basically takes place almost entirely on this pier. You have the boats in the background, you have this absolutely hilarious boss to fight here, and he calls in all of his friends, and I love that they're just basically dudes in sunglasses that are on a beach vacation. All of the enemies you're going to be fighting in this game makes zero contextual sense, but it is a ton of fun. Like, these dudes here just come out of the water on cue in their scuba suits to fight you, and of course we have changed characters to the Lucha Libre wrestler as well. Every single character you can play as has a fun move set and great specials, and you get to collect new playable characters as the game goes on, which I do like as a mechanic. And that's the thing about Knuckle Bash. It's never going to win any best beat 'em up of all time awards, but it's always going to be fun, and you basically now get to fight circus wrestlers who somehow are able to self-propel themselves across the entire screen and defy the laws of gravity and physics at the same time. I even love sometimes how you actually escape the scenes here. You're just going to jump on this box and somehow magically levitate all the way into the air as a giant fist comes out, and you're wondering what is in that box. Well, it's basically just a gigantic radioactive gorilla that you now need to fight because it's burst out of the side of this cargo ship. What other game does that? What other game gives you a mutated monkey to fight? Honestly, I can think of a few and leave them in the comments down below. And the special there, you just grab him, turn him into a flaming ball, and swing him around like a WWF wrestler. It is just a ton of fun. And honestly, these dudes here with their skullets, I don't know where they're buying their shorts. These are short shorts for the 70s, let alone the 90s. And it's just one of those things. Everything is a spectacle. Everything is like 20% weird, and you're just waiting to see what the next thing you're going to encounter is. And honestly, playing this game makes me very hungry. I want some Hong Kong suckling pig right now, and maybe I will get some takeout food tonight because I just saw that again. Marry this with an absolutely fun soundtrack, and you just have such a charming game that makes you wonder what the developers are thinking when they made it. So go ahead and listen for 45 seconds. I'm not even sure what that genre of music would be, so leave me a comment down below. Maybe it's a little bit of a changed up like Kung Fu Hong Kong action movie vibe going on. I've never really been able to place it. You'll see here with this boss, I'm just going to get absolutely decimated. Once you get to this part in the game, it definitely wants your quarters because they know this game only takes 20 minutes to beat, so they make you quarter feed it to see the ending. And now that we've beaten this boss, we can select him as a playable character. And we are not done yet. We can still add more characters to the mix. And now as we get into the next level, it's basically WWF Lucha Libre Fat Man wrestling enemies. Where else are you going to get that than a game like Knuckle Bash? That's what I really love about this. Toaplan just saw everything that was on the market and they decided we too want to make a beat 'em up, but they just went weird with it. And if there's one thing I love in arcade games is when people go weird. I want to play things like this that resemble games I love, but just do things slightly differently. And if you're wondering if there was a wrestling theme in this game, they bring you right into a wrestling ring to have the next boss battle. And you basically go screen to screen at this point in time, having these different beat 'em up boss battles. So it's almost like a very strange 2D versus fighting game. At the same time, it is a 2D beat 'em up. It's a mishmash of genres, and it definitely works in its favor. You're always doing something new. As the next stage, you just end up in a football field as cheerleaders jump around in the background, and as Elvis and Evel Knievel combined, you just get to absolutely destroy them and sometimes turn them into a literal electric guitar to do damage on your opponent. It makes no sense, but I am there for it every day of the week and twice on Sundays. I love that one cheerleader even falls down in the background. There's so much little detail that you can notice and see. It's almost like fighting game backgrounds within a beat 'em up, and I will say that I love the artwork on this game as well. The artists at Toaplan, whether they were making shmups or a beat 'em up, just knew what they were doing when it came to visual presentation, and I think this game just 100% excels. And I do love here, as you let the stage end, a giant trapdoor just appears that we walk into, and you drop down into what is a fight. I assume this is the Iron Sheik. I would say it was Sabu from ECW, but this game was probably earlier than Sabu ever existed, but we now have a barbed wire wrestling match with the Iron Sheik. Clearly the developers of this game were some sort of fans of professional wrestling, because you see nods through the entire thing. And tell me down below if you watched ECW back in the day. Sabu's matches were just some of the craziest things you would ever seen, and I haven't watched wrestling in probably 25 years, but I still vividly and distinctly remember them. And again, that's what this game does. It just reminds you of so many things. It shows you so many strange ideas in its 20-minute run. It keeps it action-packed from start to finish, and it knows when to end and let you move on. And that's some of the best design in an arcade game, when it knows it's shown you everything. But one more soundtrack sample, because I do like this track, and I'll be right back. It just has such a weird tone to it. It isn't good music, but it's intriguing music. I'm not saying it's not good that I don't like it. It just has all the qualities that would make you uncomfortable when you listen to it, but it somehow works. And if you can't tell already, one of the wrestlers from the wrestling arena now became a playable character as well. And the further you get in the game and the more characters you unlock, the better these specials are going to be. And you're definitely going to want to utilize those special moves to knock your opponent down, stagger them, and take a good chunk off their life bar all at the same time. But this is not the final boss. There's one more boss to go, and this one within the context of the game makes even the least amount of sense. I'm not sure why it's here, but I absolutely love it. It's basically just a morbidly obese pig man that looks like he's wearing Leatherface's mask from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and now we're going to have a morbidly obese pig man fight against a professional wrestler to end the game. Why? I have absolutely no idea. Do I care? Absolutely not. This game has no story for the most part. It never explains what's going on. You never have any idea why you're fighting any of the opponents you are, but the entire time you're doing it, you're just having fun and you're waiting for the next weird thing to appear. And I 10 out of 10 love weird in my arcade games. But that is Knuckle Bash. It's definitely a deep cut in the beat 'em up genre. Leave me a comment down below and tell me if you've ever heard of it before. I'm assuming this one I'm going to get a lot of comments on. You never knew it existed. I have never seen an arcade cabinet for this game anywhere in the wild. I've only ever played it via emulation, but I'm sure a few of them still exist out there. But definitely play Knuckle Bash. It only takes 22 minutes. Bring a friend, that'll be even better, and get ready to play one of the weirdest and most intriguing beat 'em ups that I've ever seen on the channel. Sure, that we're done. Leatherface is going to go down here, and I'll see you guys next time. Hope you enjoyed the video. Bye-bye.